one of my favorite interviews that I ever was part of was with Ed Roland, the Collective Soul. That was a great interview. That's when I turned into a fanboy later on.
They have more. Collective Soul has more hits from the 90s than any other band.
Really?
Any other rock band.
Did not know that.
Over Pearl Jam, over Smashing Pumpkins. Think about the heavy hitters from the 90s. Chili Peppers, Metallica.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Great guys. Just great guys. And really likable. Like, I could have sat and talked to these guys all day.
Yeah, they're good guys.
It was...
and I'll spend time with them, too.
Yeah, man. They're
grateful.
They don't see... Yes.
They're
or
grateful.
I would even say, yeah, I guess...
They're not like Eddie Vedder going out.
Say appreciative of your investment in their art.
Like, we went and saw them
Their
at
art.
Record Archive. They were doing a thing there.
Yeah.
On a Saturday, and it was... We hung out, and just my kids hung with them. They were shooting the shit with my kids.
Yeah.
They were cool with my kids, the Goo Goo Dolls. I think it's a lot of it's that they just don't see a lot of kids.
Oh.
They see,
sure. They see a lot of
adults and
yeah.
Oh, hey, Goo Goo Dolls.
the
They were
into-
screwing with. They busting Sam's balls was hilarious. They were having a good time.
That's funny. That's good. So I wanted to tell this, and then we'll call Peter. So I get a message from somebody. Does anybody remember the website when Stephanie first started coming on the podcast? Do you remember the website that she had mentioned?
That Facebook
Are we
page?
dating the same guy?
You got it.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Are we dating the same guy? Facebook.
Facebook, yeah.
Facebook. So I get a Facebook message from somebody, and it's my Facebook profile picture, and it's on the Are We Dating the Same Guy Rochester. And it says spill the tea or red flags on there. And I don't respond to it. And then another message comes from the person, and that sort of elicits like something about the show. So I write back. And then I go, all right, now I'm curious. I go, who doctored the photo? Because I'm not dating anybody, and I'm not on any dating websites. Mm-hmm. And this person writes like, no, it's on there. I have a friend who lives in Hilton who's on this site and saw your picture and sent me the thing. And I go, you got to find out, because so underneath there's two, that shocked face emoji, like surprise, two surprise, and then one comment. So I go, so now I don't want to know, but I want to know, because here's the truth. I'm not on any dating websites. I'm not out anywhere. You can't go anywhere and find out I'm not doing anything. Do you know what I mean? I'm not. So
I was told you're on Christian Mingle.
Huh?
I was told you were on Christian Mingle.
Okay.
Well, and J-Date.
I don't even know what those are. So this person goes and comes back and sends me a screenshot of the only comment. And the comment is this woman, and she writes, I don't listen to a show anymore. Is he still married? And I'm like, okay. So I was like, good, because somebody... I did not put, certainly I can't get on there.
Right.
I'm not dating anybody. So I have a feeling I know what's up here.
Okay.
Oh, I think it's somebody.
Spill the tea, Billy.
That's what I think. Somebody's trying to find out. Am I dating
anybody?
anybody?
Someone's fishing.
Yes, somebody's fishing on stuff. And you're not going to find
Plentyofmaranimal.com.
You're not going to find anything. But I go, but at the same time, well, who knows what you could write anything on there and then fuck someone's whole world up in a way.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, what do I give a fuck? Give a fuck of my world. It's already so fucked up. It's nothing.
Right.
But I thought that was...
Do you want us to get our crack back office staff on it?
No,
I can send a few messages.
I don't, because I'm afraid that if it's the crack back office staff that I'm thinking of, they would certainly do what I would do and go, oh my God, smallest dick in the world. You know what I mean? That's what I would write as the comment if I saw one of you assholes on there I knew. And I'm like, you know what it is? It's like, it's somebody doing something. It bothered me for, honestly, I'm going to give you the length of time, and this is real length of time, 3 minutes and 45 seconds. It bugged me. And then I was like, I don't give a fuck. Once I figured out, okay, this is clearly somebody trying to find out info on me, and I think I know why, and I think I know who, and it doesn't matter.
Does it go back to a letter that was written?
A letter?
Yeah. Right.
No, I don't know.
2 letters.
That's a weird thing. That's and then I think I found.
I'll never be your maranimal of burden.
That's right. I should. Kevin and I were talking about over the holidays, because I ran the Charlie Fitzsimmons one because I decided to go to the game. that I don't have any new stuff, but maybe we'll run some best ofs next week. Some of the things, and maybe we'll go back to the letter part 1 and letter part 2 would be funny.
You got a bump with
I got these
Joe Cocker.
Yeah, I got these letters
Every time we get to a dramatic point in the reading, got to drop dun 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 dun.
It was weird, right?
A lot of editing for him to have to do.
But I showed you guys.
Yeah,
this was real.
I read it.
Wrote letters to my house.
Like
and
Casey
then
Kasem.
I think I know who it is.
Dear Bill.
I think that there was one night that person who wrote the letter showed up in this studio. I was here alone late at night. I got a message. Are you at your studio? And I wrote back stupidly, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like within 20 minutes, the door opens up. Yeah. And I'm like, I want to make sure like there's lights and windows and the cops are right there. And so, no. And I don't even have to see what you fucking wrote. I know. The answer is no. The answer is no. Oh, yeah. Did I not know that already? Did I not see? It was not. It was not. That was another weird thing. Like, there's so much weird shit that has happened over the past year that I cannot talk about. I just can't. I would love to, but I can't. Come on in. Yes. Yes. This lady's pointing to the Buffalo Bill logo on her jacket outside the studio
Why
window.
is it upside down and dead?
Why is he bleeding?
No, there's so many things I can't talk about.
All right.
Well, only because you assholes know the story.
Yeah, we know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I can't talk about it.
I gotta get out the all 20.
Dan can.
No,
Gotta get out the all 22
nobody
film.
Can. Nobody can. But I would love to be able to talk about that. So apparently, I'm on that Facebook page.
You know, that's actually kind of a compliment in a way.
Well, no, it's somebody trying to do a little
Recon?
Yeah, it's somebody trying to go.
Billy Boner's out on the town.
Billy Boner ain't anywhere but home, here or home. Somebody else that came in here,
Or Doug Phelps' fort.
somebody came in here last night.
After the show.
Yes, and wanted to make sure, and I will tell you off air, that we said hello to you. Yeah.
To me.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
From our radio pass, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't want to. The only reason I'm not going to say it is I don't want to make their life difficult. Not difficult, but
It's just me, though.
no, it's not that. It's the person. If I say the person's name,
Oh.
other people go, oh.
What were they doing
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
Billified
yeah,
studio at Packers?
Fucking 100%.
Yeah.
With the small-minded, narrow-dicked assholes that
Yeah.
run that business. Come on, man.
Were they going for Chinese food or Chinese Billy?
Is it the same name I wrote down earlier?
No, it is not.
Yeah, that would be weird.
No, it is not.
I wrote that pretty good back.
You did.
Upside down. I'm a champ.
You did,
I
man.
knew
Yeah.
exactly what you had there. All right, let's call Peter Montemerno and find out what's happening in the All-22. As I want to thank Peter because I know he's got little kids. And
Hey,
Peter!
please leave a message,
Oh.
and I will return your call.
Never mind. Sounded like he was flying a plane all of a sudden. I'm like, hey.
Selena.
Do you think he's on he might be putting the kids to
Might
bed.
be on diaper duty.
Yeah.
No, hang on. No, he's available.
All right, well, I'll try.
God damn it, Danny says he's available.
All right.
Okay, there's Peter. There's Peter.
There he is.
He was driving. Okay. I'm driving right now. I'll see your message when I get where I'm going.
Oh, is he driving right now?
I don't know. Pete?
Peter?
Yo,
Hey!
Oh, are you
I'm here.
okay to talk? I don't want to catch you if you're driving.
I am okay to talk, Bill.
Watch out for that bridge.
So I
More
said,
than okay. More than okay.
Do you still have a company car from the last time?
I do, Dan.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
yeah, Dan, are you
Yeah,
jealous?
still have it.
Peter had a Mercedes from his company at one
Yeah, well,
point.
good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Did pretty well.
Yeah, what kind of Mercedes? Low end Mercedes?
No,
Or are we talking like,
he had free parking at the PGA Championship and all this stuff.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I like that. They give you
The Mercedes was not the company car.
Oh, it was the Malibu. Never mind.
The Mercedes, yeah, the Malibu. Correct.
Oh, okay.
Still nicer than what Dan's driving. An 86 Escort might be nicer than what
held
Dan's
together
driving.
by black duct tape, only because it blends in. Peter, I said to Dan the other day, and Dan,
Yeah.
before I even got the words out of my mouth, disagreed with me. But I said the Bills played a nearly flawless game against the Cowboys. And now Dan disagreed. I have not seen the All-22. I was at the game, and I only say that because you don't see as well as you do on television. I had no idea until I got home about the Stephon Diggs fumble that
Right.
And then I heard about that there was a glitch in the stadium, so they couldn't show the replay, and that's why it wasn't challenged by the Cowboys.
Even though the Bills rushed to the line of scrimmage, which is usually a dead giveaway. By the way, on FanDuel, I took the over and lost $200 on.
Damn.
No, on Greg saying the F word in a game because they did so well. It was at 12.5. It was only 4. So, what are you going to do?
There was a stadium glitch.
There was a stadium. That's what I was told. Now, again, I wasn't aware of any of that being in the stadium. You're not catching all that stuff. But did you think it was nearly a flop? One penalty?
No, I did not. I mean, I've said this before, Bill. I said this week 1 against the Jets when they lost. Nothing is ever, when you watch the tape, nothing is ever as good as it seems, and nothing is ever as bad as it seems.
Okay.
But, the Bills played a good game. Was it flawless? No, it wasn't flawless. But, I mean, James Cook was as close to flawless as you can get. And Joe Brady was really good with the game plan. And what made me, when I'm comparing the way Joe Brady is calling games versus the previous OC, Eric Dorsey, calling games, I think it's night and day.
I do too.
I think it's night and day. I think Joe Brady's calling a game and Dorsey was calling plays.
No, that's a big difference.
That's the comparison that I draw.
Sure.
That's the comparison
so
I draw.
There was a plan in place.
Yeah, there's almost someone's looking at the macro and someone's looking at the micro. What's the next play? What's the next play? And where you're looking at the what are they doing and how on the big picture? Yeah,
right.
They're putting like Joe Brady was putting defenders in conflict against the Cowboys. And when I say that, I mean look at Micah Parsons. One of the things that a lot of teams say, it's the old adage in football, run the ball at the strongest player of the defense. Make him beat you. They didn't do that. But what they did was they left him unblocked for several plays. And they forced him to stop his feet momentarily. In the NFL, that's a lifetime. So he couldn't pursue down the line of scrimmage. So they would always run away from him, but they left him unblocked because he has to stop and worry. Is something coming back my way? And I can't commit all the way down the line of scrimmage because then they can come back around me. And then the offensive coaches for the Bills are watching how he reacts to those plays. So they can continue playing the same play or running the same side, or depending upon how he reacts to those plays, let's come back around him because he's not doing his 111. So Micah Parsons was put in conflict a lot during that game. And, it's as if they were playing with 10 defenders 8 to 10 times during the game on Sunday. It was a really good game plan by Joe Brady.
Yeah, I thought we haven't seen that kind of running game out of Buffalo in a lot of people said Thurman Thomas.
That was the consensus.
So Thurman Thomas, the offensive line coach at that time, and then later the offensive coordinator, I believe, was Dan Bresnahan's dad, the owner of
Tom Bresnahan is Dan Bresnahan's dad?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Dan Bresnahan.
I never knew.
Dan Bresnahan is the owner of Cobblestone on Main.
Is he still alive, Tom?
He is. He's down
I want to ask him how they lost those 4 Super Bowls.
He has some health issues. I do know that. Dan has been very involved with things with his father, but his father was at least the offensive line coach during that time. And
he was. Then when Marcia Broda left to take the Colts job, Tom Bresnahan became the offensive. After the first Super Bowl, Marcia Broda went to Indianapolis.
Okay.
And so then Tom Bresnahan took over the play calling with Jim Schaffner, the quarterback's coach, for the Super Bowls 2 through 4.
Yeah, that was him. That was Dan's dad.
Yeah. Wow.
Or it is Dan's dad.
Wasn't he one of the coaches, Dan, that got in the fist fight?
No,
during the week.
He got into a fist fight with Nick Nicolau.
Wait, Danny's
they got into
old man.
Yeah, they got into a fist fight.
This is awesome.
Yeah, they got into a fist fight in training camp or practice or something because because Nicolau was coaching the defense and they're getting too rough in practice and they got into a fist fight.
No shit.
Oh yeah, it made the news. I think Petoniak reported on it back in Fredonia days. Oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that was that's Dan Bresnahan's old man. How about that?
But the Thurman Thomas analogies, and I had to stop myself. I mean, I said it myself, but I think I texted Dan. I said, wait a minute. Okay. Thurman's a Hall of Famer. He won an MVP. What I was meaning is, and I think a lot of people meant was dual threat that Thurman was. We haven't seen a dual threat at that position in years. And now you have the confidence. Now you have an offensive coordinator and a quarterback that are on the same page, and you see it. You see it. It's clear as day as to how they're meaningfully putting his abilities into the game plan significantly.
Yeah. Well, look, it looked great, and it was different for Buffalo. I loved what Josh said after the game, but I disagree. I don't think he was the student who didn't participate. I think he was a big part of that offense.
Oh, yeah.
A couple of runs, some great throws, and certainly I have to say, sitting up a little higher in the stadium, I bit on some of those fakes where he was running one way with the ball, and I didn't realize he even handed it off. So, he's a big part of all that. And I thought the overall, yes, to your point, obviously now we can say great move. I thought it immediately, and we got to wait a game. And I don't know. So I'm like, well, it looked pretty good to me. And then the next week, and then the next week, and the next week, we've seen a great offensive play so far. Right?
Yeah, and Josh is a significant part of the game, just being under center.
Yeah.
Before he takes a snap.
Well, you can't tell what this guy's going to do.
No.
Yeah.
No. But now you have that whole other dimension of the game with, now a play action is really a play action when you have a running game like this. Chargers are in for it. But we'll see how they prepare after they have a new coach, and they went through hell last week when they fired Telesco and their head coach. So I call them San Diego again, but Los Angeles.
Everybody does. They're like a team. They're like a team without a city.
It's me at Christmas time.
Yeah, it's Billy at Christmas time.
I'm trying to find where I go.
Retired every Easton hockey stick I own as well. After his performance the other night.
I don't. What's going to happen there? I mean, it gives a lot of credence to your Belichick rumor that you laid on us last week, or
yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen the last day after Monday after the last day of the regular season. I think you're going to see that trigger pulled, and they have to do it quickly, right? I mean, these teams. This is why they do it the first day after the last day of the year. They got to start working on the draft. They got to start working on personnel. They got to start working on coaching staff. So you'll see this in January. Is my prediction. You'll see Belichick, the head coach and GM of the Chargers.
I will say this:
he'll be GM too. They should not do that.
Well, because you're Belichick.
Just head coach.
I get that. I still
don't think he goes anywhere.
Put Peter in there as the GM.
Well,
No,
you know what I'm saying.
There's
like at
two
least
other rumors
else.
that are surfacing right now, aside from Belichick.
What's that?
If it takes if you start to see a delay in January afterward. Actually, the season extends, so it might be Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. That's another possibility because he has a history with the Chargers organization. And the other one now is Mike Tomlin possibly leaving Pittsburgh.
What?
Yes.
No way.
And going to the Chargers.
Stop.
For real.
That would be a big. That's
interesting.
That would be a way more shocking move to me than Belichick.
The Harbaugh angle is interesting because there's some negative reports that came out again today about him meeting with recruits during COVID week or COVID blackout period. Some just came out of the Detroit Free Press about that. So who knows what that's going to mean for him in Michigan
Well,
next
it could
year,
mean that they just are
they keep suspending him. He keeps winning.
Yeah. It's like, maybe they need to keep him off the sideline.
Right. He's the coach of the year. He didn't even coach in 7 games, and they won.
I think the Tomlin one would be more interesting to me because what is he, the third head coach of the Steelers organization?
Yeah, he's only been the third head coach since Chuck Noll.
And then has any other Steelers coach gone after the Steelers and coached somewhere else?
No.
I don't think so.
No, Noel coached and retired.
No, you're right.
Cowherd
went to the booth.
Went to the. So there's a story about Cowherd. Ralph Wilson offered Cowherd $15 million a year to coach the Bills, and he said no. And his wife was dying of cancer at that point.
Okay,
but I mean,
but he didn't. My only point is that he just never came back to coaching again. So this would be sort of historic in the Pittsburgh end of things.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Now, before Chuck Noll, they had a revolving door coach. They were terrible. They were lovable losers, Pittsburgh, until the 70s. They were awful. Okay. They were just a fun team.
But you're going over 50 years with only 3 head coaches.
Yeah, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
It's a long time.
And you forget how long the current coach has been there with the Steelers. So
since 05,
yeah,
06.
Yeah, you're talking almost 20 years now, 19 years. So that's maybe it's time for a change.
It's tradition. There's a tradition there.
Yeah.
They built
Well,
up
the
that
same thing with
tradition
Belichick,
starting in
too.
the
I think it's him, Carroll, and Belichick are the 3 longest tenured coaches.
Is it really?
Yes.
How long has Carroll been in Seattle? God, I love
Since
that.
Reggie Bush had his Heisman taken away.
I love that win the other night. Peter, come on. You had to watch
Oh, my
that.
gosh, that was incredible.
Come on. Peter,
Which one?
Seattle.
Which one?
Lock out
Drew
of
Lock.
the
Oh, yeah.
out of the
Yeah.
end. You had to love Drew Lock's answer at the end. He's talking to him. He goes, "Hey man, these guys came in," and he's talking and he's saying things that I don't think anybody ever thinks about. He goes, "I have you get a different quarterback back there, and all these guys stepped up and rallied around. It's a different spin on the ball, right? Geno Smith has won. He's got a different." He goes, you just have different styles. Everybody's got a different way of doing it, but these guys came in and I went, wow, I didn't even think of that. Sure. Like I'm not used to it. All it takes is it's minutia, but minutia is the difference between winning and losing at times, you know?
Well,
It really is.
no, it's a good point as we talk about Belichick, and now everybody in the NFL seems to be doing it, but way back in the day, Belichick would only employ a left-footed punter.
Yep.
And the reason why he did it is because the ball spins differently when it's coming down to the returner. And it forces that returner who's practicing in practice all the time against the right footed to have to make an adjustment. It's a different spin.
Right.
Great idea, right? Just
Sure.
those little intricacies of the game.
Yeah.
You have to force the player to adjusting, and now a lot of NFL teams employ left-footed punters. So I think Belichick started that trend.
most of them
Little
came through
things
New
like
England.
that.
Yeah, most of it came through New England, Kevin. Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, right.
The other thing Belichick would tell his players is that match your gloves with the color of the jerseys of the team you're playing. Because that way, holding, you can't see it.
You can't
if you're pulling
see
on a
it.
jersey, you can't see it.
Yeah. I'm always amazed.
And
that-
always, and I love this about him. Whenever they're down at the goal line, he tells his D line, always anticipate the snap count. Because if you're off, where's the ball going? An inch?
A half an inch, right?
yeah.
Always anticipate the snap count. Try to get a better jump because you never know. You could blow it up. It could be a fumble. But if you get a penalty, who cares? And the ball's moving an inch. It's so true. Little things, little tiny things.
Yeah, boy, it is. And that's the difference between winning and losing a lot of times. Speaking of winning and losing, I'm assuming you like the Buffalo Bills against the L.A. Chargers.
I do, Bill. But this is, I think, we're at a point here where now I wonder, right? So were they motivated by Tyler Dunn's article? If they were motivated by the wrong thing. And does it carry over into the Chargers? Do the Bills lay an egg, go into a quote unquote big city against a team they should beat? And we've seen it happen this year already.
Jets.
They lose to these teams they should not be losing to.
Pats.
Pats, Jets, you know. And what's really frustrating is they win just that either that Denver game, if they win that Denver game or that New England game.
Broncos, we're there.
They have everything they're playing. What they call they control their own destiny.
Yeah.
If they just win one of those two games, they control their own destiny because then they would be. And if Miami went out, then they would be facing Miami in the last game with one less loss than Miami. But if they beat them, they're tied, and then the Bills win the division. So that gets frustrating, and I hope those are the types of things that motivate them more than an article. So it's very interesting to say because the Chargers are really reeling. They're not in the playoffs. They have nothing to play for. So let's see if Buffalo shows up or plays down to the level of competition.
Well, I'm hoping they show up. It certainly was a lot of fun to see Sunday afternoon, but who knows?
It is a short week. It is a long trip.
It is.
They should
right?
win.
And but the way I'm looking at it, and I keep hearing it over and over again, and I would agree with it, the most dangerous team right now are the Buffalo Bills. And if the playoffs were to be decided today, they're not even in. But
Right.
Yeah.
they're not decided
Got one
today.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are a dangerous team. There's no question. They're playing well right now. The past 2 weeks, they're playing well. They should have won the Eagles game. But you know, there's things that we've talked about. I'm not going to revisit that game right now. But yeah, they are a very, very dangerous football team right now. The Buffalo Bills, and that's good. But I also said that a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have the narrative that the Bills they're dangerous. And because I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. That's my personal belief. I hope they do. I want them to. I'm rooting for them to get in for me to be wrong. But I keep hearing this narrative. It's starting out like
fucking
man,
wrong
they
too,
ended the
Peter.
season.
And I mean that.
Yes,
he's preparing
I
himself.
mean that from the nicest
As
part
Bills
of my
fans-
heart.
As
I
Bills
can't
fans,
wait till New England knocks them out.
as Bills fans, we prepare
Dude,
ourselves for the worst.
I'm not coming on the show. I'm not coming on the show if they lose.
You have to.
If they lose to the Patriots,
You
I'm
have
out.
to. Come on.
I'm out.
That's my only saving grace from a 2-38 season.
2-3. Well, Peter, I think the all the stuff you have contributed this past season has been fantastic, and I know with little
Thanks,
kids
Bill.
and stuff, it's tough. It's not always easy to sneak
Well,
away.
I appreciate that. My wife thanks you as well, and I promise you she will be on the show before the year's out.
Well, the
just-
Lions.
Yeah,
I
she's
mean,
gotta break down the Lions.
The Lions stuff is interesting because they've had that up and down themselves a little bit here. Losing games that I didn't
Yeah.
think they were going to lose. I really didn't. And then ones
Yeah.
that they seem to come back and win. And I went and I watched the Barry
Sanders documentary.
yeah, the Barry
on
Sanders
Prime.
thing.
I still haven't seen
Wasn't that great?
It is
Oh,
so
spend the
well
time.
done, and I loved. And
Wonderful.
You love his whole attitude of never was in it for the accolades or the awards. Only big award he
love
wanted
that.
was the 2,000-yard season. That was important to him. But I get that. I mean, you would think, right?
Yeah.
Certainly competitive, never, ever mailing it in, and never doing. I mean, we see celebrations now where the whole team comes down and somebody's bowling or they're doing this, and there's practically a pyramid in the end zone. I don't know what the hell they're doing. And he would just hand the ball to the ref.
Yeah.
There
Thurman Thomas, too.
there was nothing. There was just hand the ball to the ref.
Act like you've been there before,
And
and
there
he
was
did.
something
He did.
about that, and I felt like an old man with my old man curmudgeon-y things. Like, I really appreciate a guy like that. But
Guy with
I
creativity.
really did, because I go, I don't get some of these celebrations. I mean, look, I would say if I scored a touchdown in the NFL, I'm kissing everybody in the fucking stands. It looks impossible to me to do that. It just looks nearly impossible. So you do it. I think that's great. But the way he did it and went about it, and it was consistent. There was never a change. There was never anything. And only 1 year they get to the NFC Championship,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
Which
and
is
then-
amazing.
They were
Yeah,
the last
yeah.
team to knock out the Cowboys before the Cowboys went on that run
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
2 Super
Yeah.
Bowls and then a third
Yeah.
one 2 years later.
And you go, boy, it's too
Yeah.
bad that they didn't, other guys started to leave and you could see where the team, and then when he walked away, I found it very interesting, Peter, since you saw it, where, boy, I've said on the podcast, we hold our athletes to a higher standard than we do our politicians. And
No doubt.
people said, he owes us more than that. Who is he to just walk away? What does he think he's doing? Just walking away, faxing in his retirement. This is ridiculous.
Well, didn't he drive the training camp and just say, "Yeah, screw it, I'm going to go home"?
I don't know.
I didn't see
think
it yet.
that. I think he had somebody. I think there were several drafts of a retirement letter. He faxed it over, and then he was going to England. The press found out. They met him at the airport on his way to England for a couple days. And in the documentary, he goes with his 4 sons and explains.
That was the best part.
Yeah, and he explained though
That
why
was
he.
the best part.
Yeah, it really was, and why he did it. And he said, "Look, it wasn't there anymore for me. We weren't going to get anywhere as a team, and I was done." And I thought, well, yeah, if somebody walked away from Kodak, if you walked away from Peters and insurance, if you walked away, I think most people go, "Fuck, smart move, Pete." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, I do. I think people would be much more empathetic, but because this guy was really, Detroit had put their hopes and dreams on Barry Sanders, and
Yes.
that was, I think, part of the reason why, and we're so invested. And I go, boy, there it is. We expect more from our athletes than our politicians, and this guy just had a gift to do something that many cannot.
So fast.
Yeah.
So
It's a
elusive.
gift. It's a gift that we'll never. I don't think we'll ever see a guy like that in that position ever again.
Well-
and Dan, you got to watch it. You'll love it. What really struck me was how he was avoiding an interview
Yeah.
draft day,
Yes.
and how he called out Patrick and
Yeah.
really the entire media
He did. That was
was
great.
astounding. It was an unbelievable answer. No shouting, just talking, very monotone, and called him out. It's amazing.
Well, so
Amazing.
Dan Patrick says I have a relationship with him, and so Danny, from being in media.
Yeah.
If okay, Dan, we're going to come to you live And you've got Barry Sanders. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick, or wherever he's going in the draft, top 5 for sure,
Third,
top 3.
Third overall, 88.
He agreed to come do the interview, and they couldn't find him. And so, Dan Patrick's standing there at one point, has to do it, and he's getting basically chewed out, And but what did Barry say to him? Because you're right, it was one of the most mature for someone that age to say. This is basically a private moment, or
you all really don't care about what us or me. No one really cares about me, what my needs are. Something, I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but it was all this is sensationalism, and it's not what I'm about. This isn't you're caring about things that nobody really cares about. You all care about it. I don't. People that follow me don't. Something along those lines. But the way he said it was incredibly mature.
He had a way of seeing what was important in life versus what was not. He knew that all the hype around, it was like all the hype around him, all the hype around, whatever, so many yard seasons and all, other than the 2,000-yard seasons. 1,000-yard seasons, amazing, right? As a rookie, especially. He didn't want any of that stuff and didn't want to be MVP because it was short-lived. And to be truthful, it's recognition of what you've done, not what you're doing and not what you're about to do. You may not do it again. And then what? Right. And then what?
Yep.
And
Jeff Daniels made a. Go ahead, Bill. Sorry.
No. What did Jeff? Jeff Daniels is in the documentary. What did he say?
He made a great analogy about how Barry Sanders, how he is on the field versus off the field, and Jeff Daniels, a great actor as he is, said people only live for the action and cut moments, and I live. He said he personally lives for action and cut. Yep. Everything else is noise.
Yeah.
He goes, I really don't matter. I don't care about anything else. And Barry Sanders plays and lives for the games, the beginning of the game and the end of the game. That was it. That was his passion. Everything else is really not important.
And I think at one point it might have been draft day because he's in the same draft as Deion Sanders.
Oh, that was a wild draft. That 88 draft.
I think he said in it, like, I'm not Deion, but I could use a little bit of that.
Yeah,
like basically that kind of showmanship because I don't have it.
Because Deion's wearing like gold chains, a leather jacket.
Hey, man, I want to be the best. And Deion, backed up most of what he said.
That was such a great draft. Yeah. The 89 draft. It was so. By the way, funny story. Aikman went first. Sanders went third. Do you remember who went second? Green Bay took a guy named Tony Mandarich. Who used a ton of steroids in college. He was supposed to, and they called him Sports Illustrated later called him the incredible bust. Now, had they chosen Barry Sanders, they eventually traded a few years later for Brett Favre.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine that team with Brett Favre and Barry Sanders? Yeah. Oh, he'd get a Super Bowl. He might have a few.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Time marches on.
How about just the Barry's college life? Oklahoma State, a backfield that has both Thurman Thomas and Barry Sanders.
Who's Thurman's backup?
Yeah, right. And the fact that his father would always go, he was the third best running back.
Yeah,
behind Jim Brown. And himself. Yeah. And himself.
Oh, okay.
No, he's Barry Sanders' dad. Barry, I don't know what his name was. Was it Barry Sr.? He's not Junior. Whatever it was, he just said.
I don't remember what it was.
I don't either, but he said, and I think it's some induction thing, and Barry just rolled with it. Like, that would start to bug you after a while. Like, come on, man, I'm doing stuff. You've never got a chance.
I thought he was an Earl Campbell guy, his father, but okay.
No, he was not. Jim Brown was his number one guy.
Jim Brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Jim Brown.
So,
yep.
Bill
Sanders. Great. Dan, go home and watch it tonight. It's excellent.
Yeah, it is excellent.
All right, cool.
Peter, thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Pete.
Merry Christmas, guys. And I appreciate, again, having me on the show and delivering a little bit every week. Let me ask you this real quick, if I could. I appreciate all the things you guys talk about during the week. I was listening the other day, and I wanted to know, because I had an argument with someone earlier, not my wife, just someone else. A debate about if you're opening a Christmas gift, or any gift really, but let's use Christmas because it's the time of the year, and you actually say what the gift is verbally, it means you do not like that gift. You open the gift and it's like tube socks. Oh, tube socks.
Well,
you don't like it.
Okay, you said it the way I was going to say. It's not so much what you say what the gift is. It's the expression before the gift. If it's, tube socks, then I know you hated it. But if you went, damn, a Bills ticket or, personal C license, like that would be, I think it's different. So
Hats by Beth.
I don't know if it's so much about the saying the gift, but you dropped the O, and that was the first thing I was thinking. If I got tube socks, then you know it's bad. So I think there's a little tell in it, would be my answer. But all
right, that was the first. That's good. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's. Don't
Got
you,
it.
Danny? I think.
Oh yeah, I think the inflection
Kevin?
of it.
Oh, a book.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta
Even
read.
if you don't say "oh" and you say, you open it up. A book.
Yeah.
A book.
Yeah.
No. If it's a book, you yell the title. Oh,
Yeah.
the Bible, cool. Or like
The
right.
Bible.
Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. Thank you.
Oh, you open it up, and before you even see it, you just go, "Thanks, Uncle Dan." What did he get you? A Bible. A Bible. They know it's coming.
I'm still of the persuasion that it's you hate the gift, but
Okay.
still I think you're right though. The inflection is important.
The inflection, and
hold
I
on.
think the
What
word
did,
before.
what did your wife get you for your birthday that you didn't like? We're all friends here. She won't listen.
Pete, did you not get the Lexus in the driveway like the commercials?
He did.
With the big bow?
Yeah.
It just didn't
How
have
unrealistic are those?
It was no big red bow.
Yeah, I know.
I think I think if you went and bought one, Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram gives you the big bow. I think they're supplied with big bows. Honestly, I know that sounds funny, but I think they are.
I thought that was a Lexus trademark.
Oh, I didn't think it was.
Wow,
I didn't think it was, and the
bows?
only reason I'm saying that is I know another dealership that did it, and they weren't Lexus. So maybe, but I thought they all did it.
I'll be damned.
I didn't know. They could be a Lexus trademark. That's a smart thing if they did. Peter, thank you again, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Peter.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. All right, well, and we'll talk to Peter again in 2024. 2024.
He's gonna have a lot to say.
Well, he should.
Yeah. He studies that film. He pours over
Where
it.
does he get the fucking time?
Where does anybody get time to watch film? They find it. They find a way to do it, man.
You got to carve out the time.
I don't want it.
You got to carve out your time.
There are times he'll text me at 3:00 in the morning. Here's something interesting I found.
It's just Peter, take a nap. All right, we'll take a moment. What's happening in Webster? If you missed the story, we'll get you caught up on it. It happened earlier this week in the podcast, and then and we will hear from Laura.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to make sure that I had the name right again because we'll get to all that next. But first,
Yeah.
Danny,
Yeah.
let me tell you, comedy at the Carlson has all kinds of things going on.
No kidding.
Yep.
Jokes.
Well,
They got jokes.
And jokes.
They
and
have
jokes.
jokes. Think about how the stressful the holidays can get. And you need
a
some
laugh.
laughter. You do. You need some laughter. You need some stuff. So Madeline Smith will be in the Rickles Room tonight, December 21st. Can you believe it's already December 21st?
That means it's officially winter.
Yep, she's got a decade of experience, great stage presence. She's been on comedy stages around the globe, and that's a great room. It's a nice, I call them, and this will sound weird, but it's a tighter room. I like the tighter rooms because it's more people together. It's like the laughter's
louder.
Easier to offend.
Stop it. Laughter. I was afraid where you were going. Laughter is, it's contagious. And then you've got the Holiday Hams in the big room. They're playing Thursday through Saturday with 2 shows, Friday and Saturday. 3 nights of your Holiday Hams all happening, making you laugh. Comedy at the Carlson. Lock down your tickets at carlsoncomedy.com.
Mike's off.